for 13 years. Before I came into full-time ministry, I was serving in the media. And one of the things that I was very careful about, especially, and that's why I'm very passionate about this topic, is be careful what you take in. I won't give you their names, but you know them. And all of us in this room, you know them. The two topmost journalists in our country today. The two most journalists in our country today. Those ones, highest numbers of followers on X and on Instagram and on TikTok. Listen, one of them, 2 months ago, all of you heard about Jambi Koikai? So you heard about Jambi Koikai? One of them went to the burial, the funeral service of Jambi Koikai. And she stood to apologize, Jambi Koikai. And when he was talking, he fumbled. And the video is online. Just go and write journalist who fumbled at Jambi Koikai's funeral. You'll know who it is. He fumbled in front of, at the altar. And when he fumbled, guess what came out of his mouth? A curse word on the pulpits. He was talking casually. He was saying something like this. You know, Jambi, we used to do the show together on Friday nights. And you know, the other day, I met some Gen Zs. And these Gen Zs, I asked them, do you guys know Jambi Koikai? And they told me, no. And then I told them, dude. Then he said, oops, I'm in charge. Why? Because, and I'll tell you, let me come to the second guy. The second one is the topmost journalist in the country, but he's just about to retire. So this guy was reading news. He reads news on Sunday, so you know who it is. He was reading news on Sunday, and you know that in the newsroom, you read something like this. Huh? It's called an auto cue. So as he was reading the auto cue, akalemewa, macho ikaanza kumchenga. Then he said, keep and guard. And he said, oh, dude. Yeah, that one. Don't say. Are we together? Because if you garbage in, you garbage out. Can I tell you where that came from? In my generation, those of us who were born in the 80s, we are the ones who are called the Generation Y or the Millennials. We are born between 1980 to 1995. That's the millennial group. This millennial group, we grew up listening to a lot of hip-hop music. That was the time of Tupac Shakur. That was the time of Biggie. And all those guys used to curse a lot. In their music, it was a lot of curse words. What we didn't know is that we were receiving a lot of curse words. If you look at my generation, those ones who are not born again, every time anything goes wrong, the first thing they say is, are we together? Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of life. Garbage in, garbage out. Luke 6:45, it says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth does what? The mouth speaketh. We are done with point number 1. I want us to come to point number 2. How do you guard your heart? How do you guard your heart? We guard our heart like this, by watching what goes through your gates. How do we guard our hearts? How do you guard your heart? You guard your heart by what goes through your gates. Each one of us, we have got 2 gates. What are the gates? The eye gate and the ear gate. How do you guard your heart? Guard what goes through your eyes and guard what goes through your ears. Like this. They are the gateway to your heart. The eyes and the ears are the gateway to your heart. The eyes and the ears are the gateway to your heart. Put there Matthew 6:22. The and the ears are the gateway to your heart. Matthew 6:22. After this, I started guarding my heart. Look at me. One day, I was in town. I needed to go back home. I was living in Dendero then. So I went, boarded a number 107, which goes to Dendero. Pale Odeon. As we left the stage, as we were now exiting town, the makanga, the driver, turned on the music. And the music was so blaring. And unfortunately, out of curse words. Very thick. And so, one clap for karaoke. Very good. Now, as we were leaving, as the music was on, it was very dirty. It was cuss word after cuss word, cuss word after cuss word. From the back, because I have a big voice, from the back, I told the makanga, ambia driver azime yo mziki. The makanga did not know who I am, but my voice is big. My voice is very commanding. The driver refused. Mwambie kama hataki kusikiza ashuke. Then I told him, dereva, nimekuamuru sasa, zima hiyo mziki. Akaniambia, kwani wewe nani unaniambia nini? Shukisha. And I told him, simamisha gari. Nashuka sasa hivi. And before I left, I told everybody else in the matatu, shame on you. For the next 17 minutes, your souls are going to be defiled because you have allowed evil music to come through your gates. Are we together? Are we together? I don't know if there is a generation of students when schools will be opening end of this month can boldly say, dereva, zima yo mziki. Today I came by mat, and we got into the matatu huko chini Koinange to Talpeto station, coming this way. The matatu was very quiet. I was just looking at my notes. When we got to Thika Road, at some place, Pale Garden City, the guys put on music. The first one was worship. Wakatoa, wakaeka secular. We, boss, ambia jamaa yako, azime muziki. Sitaki kusikia. Friends, you must guard your heart. And how do you do it? By watching what comes through your eyes and your... Are we together? So point number 1 was garbage in, garbage out. Point number 2, watch what goes through your gates. You have 2 gates, the eye gate and the ear gate. They are the gateway to your heart. And we wrote there Matthew 6:22. Listen to this. Number 3. Listen to this. Number 3. All messages that go through the gates are registered in the conscious and subconscious mind. Number 3. All messages that go through the gates are registered in the conscious and subconscious mind. Conscious mind. Continue. The conscious mind for daily use. Daily. The subconscious for later. The conscious mind for daily use. Subconscious for later. Look at me. When we were children, my mom, who actually schooled in this place. Hallelujah. When we were children, the adults here can remember. Listen, I want to ask the adults a question. There was one program on KBC after the news, after the 9 o'clock news in the evening, that used to start at 10. And this program ran on TV for the longest time ever. If you're an adult, please tell me what program that was. Which program was that? The adults. Aha! Karaoke. Say it.
Bold and beautiful.
The bold and the beautiful. Are we together? The bold and the... Can I tell you what happened with the bold and the beautiful? This is what happened. The bold and the beautiful was about one rich family. At some point, the father and the mother divorced. The father married the daughter. They got a baby. At some point, father and daughter broke up and they divorced. Father went and married. It was that crazy. But let me tell you, ungefika shule the next day bila kujua what happened in the bold and the beautiful. Wewe ulikuwa unakaa mshamba. Therefore, we used to wait for the 9 o'clock news iishe tuone the bold and the beautiful. My mom was a serious disciplinarian. My mom made sure that her children, Kaihuri, Maina, and Joki, will never, ever see the bold and the beautiful. Lakini sisi ni wajanja. Sisi ni wale. We used to wait for mom to go and sleep. Akitoka, it was... You know, and because Joki is our third born, Joki would stand just to hear if there is a door that has been opened. Madeni nani? She was hiding in the kitchen. And we would get beaten thoroughly. Why? Because my mom never wanted her children to watch the bold and the beautiful. I only came to discover why. Listen to this. I told you all messages come where? They must pass where? The conscious and the subconscious. The conscious is for daily use. But subconscious, inaenda inalala. Adults, listen to me. Because I'll explain something that is happening in our generation. Bold and Beautiful was all about divorce. The generation of the 90s, we allowed divorce to come through where? Our eyes. Today, the generation of the 80s, we are leading in the number of divorces. Why? Because of what we allowed through our gates, and it came and settled in the subconscious. Friends, be careful what goes through here, because it comes and rests. I'll tell you something about Olympics. Paris Olympics 2024. Guys, be careful. Listen. Listen, I'm coming now to talk about Paris. Number 4. Number 4. Are you there? Are you there? Are you there? This is why we need to guard what we watch. I'll share with you things that will shock you. Here is one of them. In our generation, the 80s, the devil planted the seed of divorce. That was in the 90s when we were growing up. That's why today, divorce is common. Guys get married, a year down the line, guys are. Why? Because in the 90s when we were children, we watched innocently The Bold and the Beautiful. Number 4, I want to talk about Olympics. Now listen to what I'm going to say about the Olympics. Number 4, because I want to talk about what is the challenge in your generation. The agenda, number 4. The agenda of the media is not achieved through short-term goals, but long-term. The agenda of the media is not achieved through short-term goals, but long-term through, I want you to spell this word, but long-term through subliminal messages. I'll tell you what that is. The agenda of the media is not achieved through short-term goals, but long-term through subliminal messages. Listen, I want to explain. The devil's agenda is always long-term. It is never short-term. He wanted to destroy family unity in the future. And what did he do? He planted a very simple, it looked very innocent message in the 90s through a program called Bold and the Beautiful. Today, it is manifesting. Subliminal means it looks very innocent, but 25 years later, it is manifesting. What is the agenda of the devil in your generation? He's done with divorce. He's done with family unity. Can I tell you what the agenda of the devil is now? And it was introduced at Paris Olympics. It was introduced so quietly. And when they introduced it like this, everybody went up in arms. Hey, 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 hey. And what did they do? They kept quiet. What were they doing? They were testing the waters. And they said, not yet time to introduce it. Not yet time to introduce it. What is he going to introduce? In our generation, it was family unity. Now, the enemy is going to plant a seed of we are one church, all of us. Did you get it? Did you get it? Can I explain how? You know how? At the Olympics, the opening ceremony, they did an imitation of the Last Supper. Of the Last Supper. And at the Last Supper, they had people of all religions. The message they are trying to introduce in your generation is that we are all one religion. Watch the things they're going to be introducing now. in your generation, they are going to be introducing movies, TV series. They are going to be introducing stuff. They are going to be producing books that will show we are all one religion. Friends, and you will start hearing, look out for this in the next 10 years. You will start hearing, we worship one God. We worship one God. We worship one God. What are they trying to introduce? Friends, they are setting the table now for the new world order. Let me repeat that again. Let me repeat that again. In our generation, the enemy knew, let me destroy family unity. How will I do it? Introduce it through a very innocent thing called a TV series called Bold and the Beautiful. Wakaingiza. Today, our families, we are breaking. We are breaking. Now, what is the enemy introducing in your generation? We are one religion. Friends, never buy the lie of the devil that we are one religion. It is a lie. I've come to warn you ahead of time. They introduced it at Paris, and everybody in the world went like, where? What is that? And then immediately they said, oh, we are sorry. We didn't mean to offend anyone. In the next Olympics, which will be in the US, they will go full blown that we are all one religion. Movies now will try to show that we are one religion. That you're Catholic, I'm Protestant. We are the same. You're Hindu. We are the same. That's why we need to guard by what we. I like repeating my points. Number one was garbage in. Number one was garbage in. Number two, watch what goes through your gates. Number three, all messages, please don't forget this, are registered where? Conscious, and the subconscious can take up to 25 years to manifest. That's why we need to be careful what we watch. Remember, number four, the agenda of the enemy is long term. I want to share with you some few statistics, then in 15 minutes we wind up. I want you to write a subheading. What are people consuming? This will shock you. Thank you, Karaoke, for flowing with me. Let's write a new subheading. What are people consuming? Please, if you're writing, write this, because these statistics will blow your mind away. I got these statistics from the Communication Authorities of Kenya, CAK, 2023 report. What are people consuming? Number one, I want to hear your reactions as I do the different statistics. We have 228 radio stations in Kenya. Okay? The reaction there was not too much. Don't worry. There's going to be much reaction coming later. Don't worry. Number one, we have 228 radio stations in Kenya. Okay? I'm going to give you like about, I have 10. I'm thinking I'll give you 8. Okay? Number two, let's talk about TV stations. This one blew my mind away. I saw this and I screamed. Number two, TV stations. In the year 2015, we only had 6 TV stations. 2015, we only had 6. Now I told you the reactions will be coming. Good. 2015, we only had 6. Okay? Mwalimu. In 2022, as we close 2022, the figure moved from 6 to 182 TV stations. We have now 182 TV stations. Number 3. This is what we are consuming. Number 3. Number 3. Listenership on radio is on a decline. Number 3. Listenership on radio is on a decline from 2014. Listenership on radio is on a decline. 2014, 90% of Kenya was listening to radio. 2014. But in 2022, it came down 77%. Listenership on radio is on a decline. Number 4. Listenership on radio is on a decline. Number 4. Newspapers and magazines will be phased out in the next 10 years. There's a high likelihood that newspapers and magazines will be phased out in the next 10 years. You will no longer see a Taifa Leo on the streets. You will no longer, amen. You will no longer, there will be very, very few newspapers moving forward. Number 5. Because we're talking about what we consume. Number 5. More than half of internet content is pornographic. Hiya. Number 5. More than half of the internet content today is pornographic. Number 6. 35% of all internet downloads, 35% of all internet downloads are porn related. The stuff we are downloading today, if you download something today, 35% of the stuff that is being downloaded in Kenya today is porn related. 35%. Okay? Now, let's do a recap. How many radio stations do we have in the country? How many? 228. How many TV stations were there in 2015? How many are there now? Number 3, listenership on radio is on a? Number 4, newspapers and magazines in the next 10 years, there's a high likelihood they will be phased out. Number 5, more than of the internet content is 35%. By the way, I'm not talking about in the world, I'm talking about Kenya. All these statistics means Kenya. And I'll leave your teachers with the research. Number 7. 6. Wherever we are. 7, Okay. Kenya has the highest ratio of women to men who watch pornography. This is in the world. Kenya has the 3rd highest ratio of women to men who watch pornography. Semeni kimeuma? Number 8. Now this is where even if I don't say anything else, listen to this part. Number 8. The average Kenyan spends 5 to 6 hours on social media per day. The average Kenyan spends 5 to 6 hours per day on social media. Then number 9. Hey. Number 9. By the way, this whole report is on the Communication Authority of Kenya, and another one which I'll share with your teachers and you can access. I just thought I'd pick the ones that are relevant to us. Number 9, karaoke. This one shocked me. And I looked at myself and I told myself, "Oi, Sammy, shame on me." The average Kenyan sleeps at midnight. The average Kenyan sleeps at? The average Kenyan sleeps at midnight. What have you heard? Give me 3 reactions. What have you heard? What have you heard? If you were to summarize all those things I've said, the 9 points, what have you heard? Summarize. Somebody, bold, quick. What have you heard? Oh, let me tell you. Number 10. Finally, number 10. I thought this is important I say it. Number 10. Kenya is number 3 in Africa in terms of social media consumption. Number 3 in Africa. Behind Nigeria and South Africa. Kenya is number 3. Kenya is number 3 in Africa in the consumption of social media. We are number 3. And why are we number 3? Because Nigeria and South Africa are larger than us in terms of size and numbers. That's the only reason. But if we were the same size, Kenya na social media, sisi ndio wale wase. Sisi ndio kusema. Okay? And yes, it is true. We have the fastest internet in Africa. What are guys watching? What are guys watching? 3 things. What are guys watching? The number 1 content on social media that people are watching, number 1 is entertainment. Entertainment. That's what we are watching. And kama kuna country imeongoza na challenges, ni Kenya. Every day there's a new challenge. Mara kuna anguka nayo, mara kuna go back, eh? Are we together? Now, I know you guys are fasting and some of you could be tired. So I want you very quickly just stand up, stretch for a second, sit. Stand up, stretch for a second, sit. Stand up second, then sit. Sit. 3 people, tell me, what have you heard? Summarize for me all these things. Put in your own words. What have you heard? Oh, I need to tell you, number 2. Can we finish? Number 2, apart from entertainment, what else are we watching? We are watching news updates. News updates. And number 3, now, this one shocked me when I was told about it. What are we watching? We are watching revolutions. Revolutions. So Wakenya walifuatilia Bangladesh. Vile Bangladesh waliingia kwa State House. Vile hii. Now we are watching a lot of that revolutionary stuff. Can somebody summarize, even the adults? Please summarize for me. What have you heard? 3 things. Or 3 people. What have you heard? Shout. Yes, shout. 1. What have you heard? There's 1 there.
So Kenya is developing and it is not idle.
Kenya is developing and not idle. Okay. Somebody else. What have you heard? Yes, I can see some hands here at the front. Come this way. Oh, go to the back. There's somebody there with blue. At the back, at the back, at the back. Okay, there we go.
According to me, Kenya
Please stand up so we can see you. Please stand. It'll be good to see you. Yes, there we go. Let's go.
according to me, Kenya is turning to be like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Kenya is coming to be like Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay. So, oh, come this way, come this way. Who was the hand here? Okay, who was the hand here? Here, come here. Oh, there's a hand here. There's a hand here. Oh, that one. Go there first. Uh-huh.
So,
Please stand up. Please stand up.
when you come to think of it, if the number of TV stations are rising, and then the majority of the Kenyans are sleeping past midnight, and then Kenya is in position 3 in internet consumption, it means that sexual perversity is passing through media.
Sexual perversity is passing through media. Here, let's go. Here. Oh, okay. Go there. Yeah, please stand up.
For me, is that social media is a source of wealth in Kenya.
Social media is a source of wealth in Kenya. Come here. Come here. Please stand up.
When all the Kenyans will not take care, they will all start watching pornography. So
Okay.
take care.
Let's go there. Okay, come here at the front. There's one here at the front. This guy at the front here. The guy with yellow. Yeah, the guy with yellow. Please stand up so I can see you. Then we continue. I'll do you 3 summaries.
So for me, I think that Kenyans are good consumers of bundles and data in the internet. And we are among the greatest in Africa. So that is for me.
Okay, very good. Now, because of... I can see more hands. Now, I'll just do 2 hands. The two there, and then 1 here. Let's start with this one. Please stand up. Because of time.
According to what I have observed, it's that Kenyans have been brainwashed by the...
Kenyans have been brainwashed.
Yes, Kenyans have been brainwashed by the media and the internet.
Okay. Let's go back there. Yeah, there were 2 ladies there. There was 1 there and 1 next. Yeah. Please stand up. Please stand up.
Kenya is almost turning to Nineveh.
Okay. Across. Yes. Lastly. Yes.
Mi nimeona ka si wa Kenya tunafuata umati.
Tunafuata umati. Okay, fine. Because of the interest of time, we may not go on. I want to do 3 summaries. I want to analyze these statistics. Friends, how much time are we spending on our phones watching social media? 5 to? How much? 5 to 6 hours. Somebody ask yourself a question that I'm asking myself. Who knows the question I'm asking myself? Yes, Abu, let me hear. Let me hear if she knows the question I'm asking myself. Even the church can join in this discussion. Let me hear if you know the question I'm asking myself. Please stand up, yes.
Wanafunzi wanasomanga saa ngapi?
Wanafunzi wanasomanga saa ngapi? That's nice. Wait, now it has erupted. Wait. Aya. The guy in white. This guy in white here. The guy in white. Just that. Then I want you to ask the question I'm asking myself. Let me see if somebody's going to ask that question. You guys know that question? Okay. Let me hear. Please stand up. Please stand up. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Wanafunzi wanalala saa ngapi?
Wanafunzi wanalala saa ngapi? Okay. Now, woi. Aya, come. Okay, mpatie huyo. Ya mwisho.
If the current youths are using 5 to 6 hours in internet, they should reduce the amount of time they use so that they can do something creative that
Okay.
will develop the country.
Okay, fine. Now everybody's hand is up. Come to this guy. He's the last one. Please, go ahead.
Okay, what I think the question is,
Go ahead, listen.
what I think the question is that we are asking ourselves, we are staying for 6 hours to 5 hours. What are we seeing in the internet?
Okay, that's fine. Okay, good. Now, everybody look at me. Okay. And I'm glad, karaoke. I'm glad that these statistics are causing a conversation. In the next few days that we are here, I want that conversation to continue. Can I tell you something? When my friend Murugi gave me those statistics, Murugi is a social media expert. She works for one of those big NGOs, and she's gotten quite a number of awards on this area of social media. She told me, by the way, it's not only you guys who are in this 5 to 6. It's even us. It's Kenyans. We are spending 5 to 6 hours on social media per day. Okay? You know the question we asked ourselves? I asked Murugi. And then she told me, by the way, Kaihuri, imagine if we read our Bibles for 5 to 6 hours per day. What would happen? And she told me, Kaihuri, not even 5 to 6 hours per day. Imagine if only we read 1 hour. And I told her, Murugi, this topic is not for even those guys I'm going to talk to in Muranga. This topic is for me. It's asking myself, Kaihuri, how much time do you read the 3 analysis of the statistics? Number 1, I want to analyze the statistics, and I'll do it 3 ways, then I'll do a call to action. 3 ways. Number 1, friends, I want us to admit one thing. Number 1, people are prisoners of their phones. People are prisoners of their. That's why they are called. Cell. Tumewekwa wapi? Cell. Kwa jela. Now, I will show you, this one I can say the name. I will show you a video that happened only yesterday. Yesterday in Eldoret. The biggest hotel in Eldoret is called Rupa. The biggest mall is called Rupa Mall in Eldoret. Outside Rupa Mall, I don't know if you just saw it, a parent, a father, and a mother were walking. Their daughter, probably 4 years old, was behind them. And walikuwa wamemwacha na gap ya karibu 20-30 meters. The dad was on phone. Hivi, hata akitembea. The wife anamwambia, so you slow down. They don't even realize their baby is behind. The next thing they heard, their baby was knocked down by a car. Friends, truth be told, we have become prisoners of our. Can I give you a story? I don't know how many of you here are from Kaihuri High School. We had gone for a mission to Kaihuri High School. We had gone for a weekend challenge at Kaihuri High School. And we said on Saturday, from morning to evening, mtu akiamuka, as you go for breakfast, give your phone to Mrs. Joroge, the CU patron. The whole day. So asubuhi tukiingia tu breko, Mrs. Joroge, shika. Let me tell you. Mtu tu alikuwa anakaa. Wase, simu yangu imeenda wapi? Simu yangu. Unakaka kidogo unasema, we, simu yako inalia. Because in our minds we have been conditioned that you know how the phone, unajua, hiyo ni simu. You know, are we together? Number one, people have become prisoners of their, that's why they are called cell phones. Number two, prayerlessness. Number two, prayerlessness is not because of lack of time. Number two, prayerlessness is not because of lack of time, but lack of priority. Prayerlessness is not because of lack of time, but lack of priority. 5 to 6 hours a day. Can you imagine? Number three, and finally, we can analyze that statistics. He who controls the media controls the mind. Number three, and finally, he who controls the media controls the mind. As I was researching to come and share with you, I came across a clip of the most famous radio presenter in Kenya. His name is Uyo. Nani? Si the most famous. Si amesema. Uyo amebaya amesema. Okay, currently the most famous presenter is called Maina Kageni of Classic 105. And you know what he said? He was asked, Maina, why are you not married? He said, I'm not married because the things I hear in the morning about marriage, watch a guy. The things I hear in the morning about marriage, watch a guy. Do you know, after researching this presentation, karaoke, I am convinced, teachers, I am convinced, beyond a reason, shadow of doubt, I'm going to start a YouTube channel called Marriages Work. Because I've come to realize one thing. He who controls the media controls the... Are we together? Let me tell you. Hata nikisalamiwa ni sawa. 0721437796. Munisalamie. Ni sawa, nitasalamika. Ogojea, listen. I heard the Gen Zs when they went on the streets, and the Gen Zs, they were raising placards and they were written very funny things. Mpaka nilikuwa nasema, "Boy, hawaogopi." Then I was told, Gen Zs, the only thing they fear is low battery and Gen Z's only fear low battery and marriage. Why? Because they have heard on the media that marriages don't work, and it has controlled their minds. Because he who controls the media controls the mind. I am starting a YouTube channel called Marriage works. So that you people, when you get to that level, you will have heard it over and over and over again that marriage works. Three analysis of the statistics. Number one, we are prisoners of our phones. That's why they are called. Number two, prayerlessness is not because we don't have time. It's because we lack priority. Number three, he who controls the media controls the mind. Call to action. Call to action. Finally, application. How do we apply this? Our call to action. The call to action is something that you can do. Something that you can do. It's a call to action. Call to action. Three things. Call to action. Number one, call to action. I don't know how many of you heard that newspapers, magazines are on a. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? What does that tell us? No, about us as Kenyans, about our culture. We don't read. We are not reading. That's why you see the challenge with TikTok. The challenge with TikTok nowadays is that mtu atakuwa excited 10 seconds. That's why concentration now for 40 minutes is becoming a challenge. Why? TikTok has told us 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. And that's why even our sermons in church, now we are bringing in entertainment and we are saying, fupisha sermon. Sermon yako fupisha. Ikuwe 20 seconds. 20 minutes. 15 minutes. Why? Because TikTok has told us our brain capacity now is. Call to action. And I don't know how many of you are going to join me in this, but as I was researching karaoke, I was also challenged. Call to action number one, I want us to revive a reading culture. Nimepigiwa makofi na mtu mmoja na mwalimu akasema good. And as I was coming, this is August 2024. I want us to do a reading challenge. And I don't know how many are going to join me. Every month, we read one book. Next year, August, God keeping us, God preserving us, we come and we present 12 books that we have read. Anybody who wants to join me in the reading challenge, anipate inje tukimaliza, because now we must revive a reading culture. And I'm talking about a physical book. Unfortunately, karaoke, as I was doing this research, all the major bookstores in Nairobi are closed. I went to Biblica. I said, nimeenda kwa bookshop. I'm going to speak to some teenagers in MURANGA about what they consume. Nikaambia, woi, bookshop ilifungwa. Kwa nini? Watu hawasomi. Reading challenge. This is what we are going to do. Use your own, get your own book. Get a book of your choice. August, moja. September, moja. October, moja. August 2025, even if I'm not one of the speakers during the conference, I will come. We present reading challenge. I have read the following 12 books. How many think it's a good challenge? Imagine if all of us, those who are put, even the teachers, kila mtu asome ile preferred choice. Number 2, call to action. Number 2, call to action. So number 1 is reviving a reading culture. Number 2, call to action. If your left hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Number 2, if your left hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Practical ways we can do that. If your left hand causes you to sin, cut it off. Practical ways we can do that. A. Practical ways. 5 to 6 hours on your social media ni mingi sana. Now, all that time, people are watching usiku kwa giza. Na kile watu wanaona ni vitu za maajabu. Practical ways we can help one another. A. No password on your phone. No password on your. By the way, do you know what? For the last 9 years, if you picked my phone, you can simply go anywhere and everywhere. I don't have a password on my phone. Can I tell you why? There was once I went to visit a friend of mine, and her children were playing outside, and the boy came to the mother and said, "Oi, mami, angalia simu ya mama nani, angalia kile tunaona," and the things that we saw. Today, my son, who is at Njiris, today, my daughter who is being taught by karaoke at Getuge can enter my phone na angalie na sina woga. Sina nini? Sina woga. Why are we struggling with porn? Why are we struggling with masturbation? Because umeeka porn into a certain folder. Your folder is under another certain folder. Na your folder iko certain another certain folder. Na your folder imewekwa password. Practical ways. B. I'll just give you 2 practical ways. I'll give you 3. B. I had several, but because of time, I want to stop. B. Practical way. Don't go to bed before you're tired. Don't go to bed before you are tired. Go to bed when you are. Go to bed when you umechoka. Because people are watching and spending a lot of time on TikTok, on Instagram, before they sleep. Go to bed when you're tired. C. Practical way. Delete all the apps you don't need. I like that reaction. C. Delete all the apps you don't need. Allow me to stop there because of interest of time. C. Delete the apps. I didn't know anything about TikTok. I learned about TikTok in 2015. I had gone for a camp for Sitam Kitengela and Sitam Athi River. It was Uko Kitengela Uko, those sides. That's the first time I learned about TikTok. Then lately, I've been told a lot about TikTok by so many people. Nikasema wacha join TikTok. And there are good things and there are bad things. But I deleted my TikTok app after we went to a weekend challenge at Kirangari High School. One of us in our team was so addicted to TikTok. Alikuwa tunashinda tu hivi. Even when we in the meeting, kwa boardroom, na walimu, wakituambia what to do, what session, and what we should concentrate on, ako hivi. And I asked my friends, Sasa, is this necessary? Aya, we were praying so that we can go for a session. Workshops. Tukiomba, mwalimu alikuwa anaomba, chaplain. The Spirit of the Lord just told me, Sammy, open your eyes. Nikafungua macho hivi. Dear Lord, imagine that girl in our team. Ako tu hapa. Na ni maombi. I told myself, I will not become a prisoner of TikTok. I went, clicked, delete, nikaitoa. Some of you, there are some apps that are making you not concentrate. You are forever there. Delete them in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And all the people said amen. Can we celebrate Sammy Kaihuri? Thank you very much, Sammy. God bless you so